Ah, welcome one, welcome all to BVB episode 2. I am Zek, your esteemed infernal host, and here today by my side, the faithful Nexus Spacey, the powerful, inspirational It's Astrobiology, and the token woman, good old Jazz.
Token woman.
Here today
We're
to
both
discuss.
We're both
Yes.
diversity hires.
Yes, well, we are, right, precisely. I have a token homosexual status, which is tragic, but eventually when I overcome my homosexuality, I'll just have to have token 1/4 black status instead.
Token baldness.
Token
Token
baldness.
Yes, I decided that as soon as Nexus Spacey rejects me, I'm going to resign my gayness and be asexual for the rest of my days. Moving on, away from the awkwardness, today we have a variety of subjects to discuss. Our main focus, of course, is going to be aesthetics, the aesthetics of Overwatch 2. We're going to talk about the aesthetics of the lighting, the aesthetics of the new maps, the aesthetics of the UI, the aesthetics of audio aesthetics of the sound design, and Sojourn's design as well on top of that. So I hope that you're all ready and strapped in, because it's likely going to be a bumpy ride full of awkward mistakes, long-hanging silences, and autism.
Yeah.
As usual.
Our brand.
Yup. So
Wonderful.
I see we're starting off with a slight controversy, but it could lead into the topic of the maps getting new lighting. A lot of
In
them.
fairness, is there any time anything happens in Overwatch and it's not a controversy?
Uh,
Hmm.
In
no,
fairness.
actually, no. It's
I don't think
anytime
there's
anything happens, they're like, "I'm angry now. It changed."
There hasn't been a moment peace for like 3 years, and like even when we didn't have news, it was still controversy, you know?
Right.
It's like, we haven't had news for 3 years. What the fuck?
Haven't had
No.
news for 3
Then we
years.
get news. It's like, fuck, we got news. What the hell?
Haven't had
I actually-
news
I
for
did-
3
I did the
years. What
math.
hell?
I did the math like a few nights ago, and it turns out when BlizzCon, you know, like in 2019,
Yeah.
that happened almost a year and a half ago. 2 years and a half ago.
Yeah.
Whoa.
People have
So that's
done the
we're
math.
genuinely nearly coming up to 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been 1,000 years.
It's been 3,000 years.
Oh
It's
my.
been-
People had calculated it had been more than 600 days since a new hero release, more than 1,000 for a new map release, I think, or almost.
Oof.
oh Jesus! Speaking of maps,
Yeah,
Yes.
the map lighting
Map
got
controversy.
changed,
Let's
and
go.
a bunch of new maps were created for Overwatch 2.
so
Yes,
who wants to recap this madness?
Oh dear.
Well,
So-
let's start with this. Have any of you viewers heard of Neri? We'll start with
Yes.
that.
Great Overwatch News Twitter account.
I
Uh,
respect the fact that she just comes in, says the news, and leaves.
Yeah, she does that a lot, and she takes good care in it. And she made an absolute banger tweet, or so they thought. If you see the interaction, but it's more or less just people shitting on the fact that the game set is 12 hours apart from Overwatch 1.
Yes, upgraded systems. 3.5 years in the making. It follows your time zone. Well, at least that's the assumed goal, right? Because if it's just a day shift of the map, that's not very impressive. But if the map follows real time, then maybe it is kind of impressive.
well, who
I
would
mean,
it be based
I did-
on?
I did ask Ian back when just when the alpha news broke, right? And he was allowed to talk about it. And I asked him bluntly, I was like, listen, do you get different maps with the time zones, or they've never really clarified or anything like that? And he just said, I don't know. It was all the same for me, so that's kind of up in the air. You know, this could genuinely be the maps we're stuck with, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It seems like these are definitely the maps and the looks for the maps in the competitive game mode, but it's up in the air whether or not it will change in the PvE and in unranked.
Oh yeah. I mean, because the thing is that I know at least for Gibraltar, the lighting is actually part of the map design. Because on like first point, the fact that the sun is like right where it is on the horizon, it can make it a little hard to have those sight lines from like right like past the dip that goes to the first checkpoint when you look at the high ground on the first, like when you first come out of the gate. So I know that was intentional. But and granted, I know that as far as I know, Gibraltar's time hasn't changed.
I think it has actually.
It has, really.
Yes. They definitely picked a lot of the time changes very purposely,
Okay.
being like, okay, how do we not blind people as much? Which, again, Gibraltar was incredibly good at just blinding half the population of players on the map.
That was the
Do you know
point,
what
though.
that one iCarly video of like her just walking into the room and like screaming when there's a huge slash?
That's playing defense on. That's what playing defense on Gibraltar feels like.
Blinding.
You turn the corner, it's like, oh god, I can't see shit. Also, I got headshot by a widow. Great.
But anyway, back to the we're staying on topic, lads. We gotta focus.
Yeah.
But anyway, she just sort of like tweeted out like a comparison between the old maps that we currently have on Overwatch and the new maps with the new lighting engine, etc., etc. And people, oh god, it got bad, didn't it?
Dude, I love Pokemon Sun and Moon.
The games are set 12 hours apart.
Yeah.
It
It shows about how much time has been, how much time has changed between the Overwatch lore. I mean, a good 6 hours apart from Overwatch 1.
They got that Mexican, the old school Mexican filter, Breaking Bad,
Oh, it's just... Yeah.
And sadly, don't get me wrong, memes are funny, but unfortunately it just means she's getting shit on by association, because of Blizzard's kind of like, oh yeah, we'll just tweak this, and her just wanting to show off something cool and just, it's just such a bloodbath. I feel so sorry for her, to be honest.
It sucks
I got
because
oddly heated.
Neri is like just one of the most chill, like Neri is like the Keanu Reeves of the Overwatch community. Just kind of shows up, chills, says something, leaves. Nobody gets mad at her. Nothing.
Says something, is based, leaves.
Yeah, pretty
gives
much.
you the news.
Yeah, pretty much.
Spills the tea.
Spills the tea. Yes, Workslay. But yeah, she just... I don't know. I think... I understand where people are coming from, where if you're not caught up on Overwatch news, it really doesn't seem like there's a whole lot in terms of the beta, but they've made it very clear that like most of these are kind of just lighting changes. It's the first beta of many, and I understand being a bit underwhelmed. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my criticisms as well about like how much content there is actually in the beta, but like I don't know. Like complaining about like a lighting change to a map is just a bit, over the top, you know what I mean? And saying like this is emblematic of like Blizzard's failure.
Right.
And like Overwatch is suddenly I think that's like being a little dramatic, you know what I mean?
They changed it by 12 hours. There's no effort at all.
Yeah, forget about like everything else. Like, listen, like I told you guys that like the reason why I'm underwhelmed about a lot of the beta is because a lot of the things that we are seeing now is stuff we saw at BlizzCon online, which is just like, I don't know, like 14, 15 months ago.
More than that, yeah.
Wait, did you
More
say
than that.
25 months ago?
They probably had a lot of this in the works, like, for longer than that, even.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, if they're not, if stuff isn't ready, it's not ready. I'm that type of person that like, okay, it's not ready. But at the same time, it does make me wonder, like, okay, you guys had over a year to produce stuff. You said yourselves that it is producing much faster than the PvE, which is why we have the beta in the first place. So what's going on here? Like, it doesn't sound like it's going good.
Hey, wait,
You know
hold
what
on
I
a
mean?
second. Wait, hold on a second. What if we just, like, hold back all the material until Overwatch 2 actually launches? Then the community will totally forgive us for starving them. Brutally.
I mean, I feel like that is kind of their strategy. It's not releasing everything at once. I mean, if they released everything at once, we likely would have gotten the 4 heroes they teased to, like, 4 journalists a while back. Remember that?
That was 2 years ago, like.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
2.5 years
shit.
ago, and they clearly had most of them either almost
8 heroes
finished
now,
or,
isn't it?
at the very least in the works.
Yeah, Zach, didn't you say there's going to be 8?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 8 heroes, isn't it? At least 4 immediately, and then like 4 quickly after that. I mean, from what it seems that they've answered in the responses to people being furious about supports only having, what is it, 7 heroes to choose from for 2 players versus tanks having 9 to choose from for 2 players, or whatever that, I can't quite remember what the precise count is.
The tanks have 9 to choose from.
Right,
for
that's
one
what it is.
player.
Yeah, 1 player for 9, and then 7. Yeah, right, exactly. So like, seriously, if they don't just take the L and like, they could just make a new hero really to replace the support hero that they're going to have to tribute to the community now. But they're definitely going to have to tribute a support hero to the community. Otherwise, people are going to be furious.
Wow.
It's like, I saw that the queue times did get a little bit better, but it still seems a little bit unreasonable to me to expect, especially support players who are so used to getting bullied, picked on, and like spanked for for underperforming, for not carrying enough, for not healing enough, for not damage boosting enough, etc. That they would be finally at their limit with the okay, now that everybody's just a DPS, like everybody needs a mortality field, otherwise leave us alone. I mean, basically giving Zen the cake is the equivalent of a mortality field in a sense, right? But
I mean, I feel like that last tiny patch did a lot actually. Like it rebalanced things just a tiny bit.
Zach, I thought you said they gave Zenyatta the cake. I was like, what?
No, the cake. No, Zenyatta does not have the cake.
He's not thick. He has a cake.
I'm not sure how pro human relations I am anyway. So maybe Zenyatta's cake is not a point of discussion as of yet.
Yeah. I mean, the cake packs quite a punch, but
I will say this. To the point of like, they can't release everything. Listen, I understand. And like I said, I am mindful that it's the first beta. It is the first beta. They have made this so clear, so painfully clear, and still people are confused. This is the first in many. We don't know how many, but the first in many. We're not going to have like a blackout like we have had in the past like 2 years.
I mean, granted, Ian said...
However...
Yeah.
Whoa. Let me just finish the point before we derail. But given how much of a shit show it's been for Blizzard for the past like year, I want to say how much of a shit show Overwatch has become in the eyes of the like casuals, people who aren't really invested in Overwatch or don't keep up with it like we do. You know what I mean? Like even passively, But wouldn't you want to put your best foot forward? And doesn't that mean kind of like, I don't think I was asking a whole lot when I'm thinking like maybe just one more new hero, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more information about that mysterious new game mode that they have throwing about, like even just a little bit of information or just something, Like for me, given how much confusion there is about Overwatch 2 and how much time that's passed, like I understand that the knee-jerk reaction to people just glancing at this being like, this is shit all.
Well, yeah,
for this is like nothing for like 2.5 years, while not understanding that like this is one in many. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the reason why I said, why not put your best foot forward and have the betas be smaller as we go across, Yeah.
That would have been... That seems to be what it's going to be. We're going to get very small content releases one at a time with each beta. Patches. They said that they were going to aggressively patch this stuff, so we're going to see how that works out.
And Ian himself said that, admittedly, Blizzard is not doing a great job communicating this.
But,
not to the wider audience.
Yeah.
They never have.
They'll hide it somewhere in like the middle of a video talking about the lore of Sojourn, how there's going to be multiple betas and each of them has distinct different content releases.
Yep.
And we'll focus on distinctly different things.
Yep.
Incredible. Speaking of Sojourn, maybe it's a good time to pivot to that subject, since there isn't exactly numerological ordering to our points today.
Well, I think, actually, Jazz, didn't you say you wanted to put the Sojourn stuff last?
I mean, I just suggested it last since it has like such a nice happy ending.
Oh, it has a happy ending. That's so rare for Overwatch material. Wow.
Actual wholesomeness, because I kind of thought like it would be nice to like open up with something a bit spicy and let it mellow for a bit and end in something sweet, like a dessert,
Yeah, well,
I feel like we can end with Sojourn.
Yeah, we'll end with Sojourn then. Because I
have something to interject with though, and that is that I don't think I almost have a feeling that Blizzard didn't expect the beta to get quite as much traction as it did.
Really?
For the one day?
Yeah, for like the one day. I don't think they understood just how many people still kind of wanted Overwatch.
But aren't they the ones who controlled how many people got in the first day?
Yeah,
They're the ones who control the Overwatch.
Yeah.
they control the Overwatch.
So,
Yeah, I don't think they expected quite as many people to really want the game.
But then why would they give out
Immediately.
that many invites?
You mean to
The first
streamers and such?
because like the first day, yeah. Because
Well,
the people who got it on the first day were people who they had already kind of pre-selected.
That's true, but I feel like the second win they got from the non-content creators
Yes.
is was
Like,
a
in
lot bigger
fairness-
than they were expecting.
In fairness, like, it worked. Like,
Yeah.
it did work.
No, it certainly worked and then some.
It got people informed of the fact that there is in fact a second Overwatch game and it is kind of out.
Kinda, sorta, a bit.
But again, yeah, I feel like they wanted something a lot smaller, just actually kind of testing things, instead of getting it out there. Rather,
Fucking
yeah,
breaking records. Its own
yeah.
records.
So, no, they actually broke records for Overwatch numbers, and yeah.
I heard something crazy, like it's now the sixth most viewed game ever, or something like that, just from that one day.
And that seems like an Overwatch feat, actually. Overwatch will just casually fucking break feats and then immediately in that same week just drop down to the lowest viewed games on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it back?
Totally unsurprising.
Isn't it back like
Highs
to like,
and lows of Overwatch.
Isn't it back to like 10K or something? Let me check.
It is back to like between 10 and 25K, which is
see.
normal numbers for Overwatch.
It's
a bit higher.
It's 10.3K right now.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just back to normal numbers, which is a bit sad, but
For comparison, it has been over a month since Elden Ring released, and Elden Ring is still at 50K. So
Yeah.
yeah,
but
That's the
Elden
thing.
Ring didn't get 1.5 million on release day.
got almost close to
I
a
mean-
million, but yes,
I mean, it's a case of like, Samito? What's his name?
Samito. Yeah.
Yes, Mito.
Thank you. I knew I was, I get them a bit mixed up sometimes.
The Angry Man?
Angry Man.
Yeah, they just kind of bleed in. But he does make one good point, and I do agree with wholeheartedly, and that is that Overwatch can pull numbers, but it can't get people to stay. And
Yes.
it's because of its refusal to just like budge on anything,
Mhm.
Just everything has to be a hard stance. It's like, mate, sometimes it's just not that deep. Sometimes you just gotta buff this one hero or nerf this one hero.
I feel like they've done a bit more of a better job with that. Like they heard, supports didn't get content. They're like, all right, let's give Zen the funny kick.
Zen did get the
Or,
fun.
That is true.
The Owl player said like, hey, Blizzard, sir, do you want Tracer to be a tier 0 character? No? And then they were like, okay, what if, no. Just nerf the damage. They're not gonna fuck with cooldowns, they're not gonna fuck with muscle memory. No, just nerf the damage a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's a nicer direction to take nerfing a character. Actually adjust the numbers for once. Can't wait for that to happen to Brig.
Oh
Wow.
god.
yeah,
Wow,
that's
can
the
you
problem.
imagine her not being the best healer in the game while also having the most boring kit ever known to man?
Could you
Amazing.
imagine them just refusing to shift the numbers for 25 nerfs in a row?
Ugh.
Stop. To this day, I am still baffled. Like, listen. The second I heard that this game was going like 5v5, I knew there were certain characters that were kind of like, they had to change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to this day, I am still baffled that Brigitte didn't get, like, Orisa got a rework before Brig.
Right.
A hero that has broken this game so much, it has changed fundamentally. Not once, not twice, but a whole 3 times just to stop her. like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, they
damn.
kind of tried reworking her, and they did absolutely the least successful job I think they've done on any kind of kit change.
Yep.
And they were like, okay, you know what? Pack is pretty confusing. What if we just had 3 of them?
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
make her throughput healing the highest in the game.
Yeah, and it was basically just
Think
like,
about it. It's okay.
let's get rid of the unique things and just, you know.
Moira
I mean,
with a
hopefully,
shield.
hopefully they'll start to like giving the supports a little love, because I think they're kind of suffering at the moment.
I've been enjoying playing support in the beta though. It's been quite fun. They don't expect you to fuck them up when you hit them really hard.
Right.
'Cause they're used to either having really passive players or Overwatch League pros on their face, and
Right.
when they suddenly see a no-name player stomp their heads in on Lucio, it's very funny.
That's true.
Actually,
Yeah.
now that I think of it, speaking of weird critiques that the community has latched onto, just very, very specific, very weird. What do you guys think about the new UI?
Some of it is incredibly good. Like
Yeah.
getting used to this new UI is like, okay, well, I really like the ability and health UI. Those are really good. The ultimate meter. I mean, there's not the little lines anymore that didn't matter, actually.
Yeah.
But there are some other parts that are just them changing the headshot indicator
Oh,
like
God.
multiple times for no reason, making it harder and harder to read.
Didn't they say that was a bug or something, or like, oh,
No. They
it wasn't
like
intentional
tried
or
to
something?
adjust it. They were like, look, it's better now. It's like the stream can't see it. It's like, okay, we give it an icon. It's like, why is it white?
Yeah.
In fairness, have we not heard many a time of Blizzard's creating something, the fans not liking it and being like, "That's a glitch. Sorry, being patched."
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Resurrect being gone was a bug, actually.
The thing that I'm like the least happy with about the UI is because everything else I know it's just kind of like because it's not fully patched yet. I know because there's like the weird clipping and stuff like that. I mean, I can get over that.
Yeah, there is something to be said. Like, go ahead and criticize, but do realize that this is like UI in specifics are created like very last.
Yeah.
They're the very last things to get finalized and stuff like that. So feel free to criticize the team, to throw out suggestions, but do realize that like it's probably not finished yet.
Yeah.
Like I can give some examples of things that are clearly broken, but also clearly they were either thrown together for this beta specifically,
Yeah.
or it's like they're not meant to be very finished yet. Like in the main menu, if you open the options menu, it'll depending on which of the two menu splash screens you get, you will just be warped into space time.
Yeah.
Just outside of the map screen.
The thing I was gonna say though is the in-game scoreboard. Oof.
Oh, stop.
Oh, God.
Stop. It's hideous.
Not the
It's
best design.
it's
I think the info
horrid.
they give is correct, but I think the design for it is not the best.
It's horrid.
Did you guys see that that Reddit post that I sent in like maybe a while ago about the new, like, it was fan made, but it was basically like more transparent. It was more akin
Yeah.
to the old one. I think it was done by hold on.
Mary also
comments-
posted on that one. I think.
Really? Oh, I did. Yay. Yay, I'm smart. I have notes. I'm so prepared. It was made by the lovely Thomas, and I think that is perfect. It has the perfect amount of information. It has every bit of information that has with the ugly thing that we currently have.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The abomination, the absolute eyesore.
I mean, it gives
And-
you all the info you need, but it's
The-
why
the-
are the heroes on the left side and the right side?
Yeah, that I was gonna say the two things that I think really need to change is just like the heroes on each
Symmetry.
team need to be right next to each other, like they can't be on other sides of the scoreboard, and the ultimate charge needs to be a number.
Visible.
It needs to be a
or at
number.
the very least, it needs to be on the same level. The hero portraits.
Yeah.
Because my God, is it? It truly is just making sure that like we have square eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
The info they give is correct. The readability of said info is not correct.
Right.
yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah. And it's such a shame because like the one big the one big positive that I have of Overwatch 2 so far is that the UI has been so clean, so professional. So, one thing I hate, and I've said this to you guys a lot of times and throughout the episodes, that like a lot of aspects of Overwatch 1 started to get very muddy, very messy, and very hard to read, especially as someone who's like, has a bit of eye problems, you know what I mean? When I get like overwhelmed and stuff like that.
I'm the same way. Yep.
If that makes sense, I can very easily get overwhelmed. And by Jesus, Overwatch was really testing my patience at the end there.
Yeah.
In terms of like how much shit can be flashing on the screen. So this is a welcome change for me. But my God, that scoreboard, I hate it within the bottom of my heart. Whoever designed that, I will see you in hell.
So, Jazz, are you like me, where it's like, if the game is like going too fast and you have people in your face, you're just like, you just drop the controller, and I'm like, I can't play the game. Like, just kill me.
Leave.
There's like 6 characters just jumping around in my face. I'm getting shot at. There's just numbers going everywhere. There's effects everywhere. I just drop what I'm doing.
There's a shield. There's sparkles. What's happening? Am I seeing God? And it's just Genji.
Yeah, it's just Genji.
Motherfucker.
Oh no, Ness, you don't understand. Like, we're not talking about double shield. We're like saying it could be like just a Genji or a Tracer in our face, and we'd just be like, I don't know.
I don't know. I've been shocked by 3 barriers, a teleporter, 2 superchargers, and a flux before. It's not great. Yeah, that really screws with your brain when you need to alt track everything.
Because
I gotta respect it, but I kind of like all the visual clutter. It's kind of my kink. So for me, that double barrier meta was really.
Oh,
incredible.
I love that, being able to see shit. Do it.
Yeah.
More.
Oh, yes, Brig, raise your shield in the Orisa Sigma Symmetra triple barrier.
Yes.
Baptiste, put your
give me a
window
silly
down.
lamp so I can see even less.
Oh, silly lamp and windows, so it's Orisa shield, Baptiste windows, Sigma shield.
Do you know the map this is all going on? Route 66.
Of course.
66. See even less.
Horrendous.
See nothing but blue.
I'm glad to hear, Jazz, that we are both in the easy to experience sensory overload club.
Yeah, like as I said, I told you guys many a time that a lot of heroes had weren't bad. Like, their abilities weren't bad. It was just poorly communicated.
Yeah.
For example, remember when Sombra had that visual change to her hack?
Yep.
I remember she received absolutely no other buffs or anything like that. No other changes for like months. Mm-hmm. And she got that small little change, and then suddenly she was a nightmare.
Why?
It's almost like people could see when you're hacking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of context for that one as well, because like Goats was really good and they didn't have range. But yeah.
No, this was after oh god, Goats lasted so long. So
Yeah.
Well, no,
I don't even know how to.
Lasted longer, believe it or not. It has lasted like almost 3 times as long as Goats had.
Can you
Goats
guys
lasted 9 months.
that like
Holy.
Overwatch has been out for like how many years? Like almost
6.
6 years now.
It's been 6
And it
years.
truly has only had like 3 metas.
I mean, true. Dive death ball goats.
There's some
Yeah,
smaller
that
metas,
really
but
is.
the big ones were
Beyblade.
yeah. Actually, there's a lot of metas, but like the big ones that are remembered are
Moth.
like dive, moth dive, like triple tank, and then Goats. Slambulance is one. The 4 tanks.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting Beyblade was before your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but let's be
double
honest
shield
here.
for the last
A lot of-
2.5 years.
A lot of these metas are just branches off of like the main metas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's
Like Moth meta was kind of a part of Dive. Triple tanks were parts of Go. You know what I mean? Like it was more like it was the same. It was the same structure, but like.
Yeah, there were. It's people put it in 3 categories every meta, and that is either poke, brawl, or dive.
that's a good one. Yeah, I'd say that like. But the other thing, and I think this is actually part of why they did solo tank, is because most of the metas have been dictated by some sort of tank synergy. and with like the exception of like Brig and Mercy, they've pretty much all been dictated by tank synergy.
Yeah, well, tank and also support synergy with those
yes,
tanks.
Yes.
Because
Well,
goats.
now tank synergy is over, so we don't need to think
Tank
about that
synergy is
again.
over. Now you just have to play well.
Right, Pepe hands play well. So
Good forehead.
a slightly forced regression to the conversation topic. Were we talking about the UI, perhaps?
Yeah, we
we
were talking
were.
about the UI.
Yes. I'm going to give my take. I like the UI. I believe in the UI. I think they're going to change it and make it great. That's all I have to say on the subject, really.
No, I agree. I think
it's
it'll be
nice
good.
to have it sleek, clean cut. The problem that I found with Overwatch 1 is how it kind of felt like you were wearing a visor,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
really
Yeah.
didn't like. 'Cause it's like, I'm not playing Halo, and yet it feels like I'm wearing a visor. And it's like, all this crap is cluttered in the center of my screen. I can't just push it to the corners.
Yep.
Very annoying.
Jesus Christ.
Very
How have like snipers lived like this? I don't
No.
know. I suppose they're snipers. They haven't lived.
No, usually their opponents also don't live then.
Nobody
Actually,
wins.
Since we were on the topic of maps, and since UI is kind of like we all agree that like it's good, it just needs some tweaks, and dear God, that scoreboard needs to be fixed.
They're on the right track. They just need to fix up some minor things, some inconsistencies, some
Yeah.
unreadabilities.
So just like, what do you guys think about like the new maps in general? Since we were talking about like the lighting engine and stuff like that, like have you guys felt like you've seen improvements in the old maps? If you've noticed it in the new maps, etc., etc.
So should we just go down the list of the new maps?
Hmm.
We should also
Come on.
go.
Like
We should also
it's up to
look,
you.
we should look at older maps and how they play in Overwatch 2's 5v5. I mean, we can look at the changes they got as small as they may be. Because
Actually, I've been meaning to ask: have you guys noticed any like new debris or obstacles in older maps?
Yeah,
Because
Dorado.
of 5v5?
Dorado.
it is very minor. There is very little extra, like, cover added. They did about as little as they could get away with.
Yeah, Dorado. Dorado has a new small wall and a car.
Yeah, Dorado has 2 cars and a wall.
Amazing.
I think Gibraltar is one of the ones that got changed the most.
Really? I haven't noticed anything.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 changes or more.
How the fuck have I noticed nothing?
There's the box right next to the little. You know when after you go under, there's this little turn. There's
Yeah.
a box to the right.
Yeah, that's always been there.
Yeah, they changed a few of the boxes around to be different sizes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I know. Very minor. They added cover to the initial high ground, the main high ground on first point.
okay.
They added like a little wall with some fuel canisters in them. On second point, on the top left high ground from attack, there's a small little wall that literally will never matter.
Cool.
Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah. No, a lot of the cover that has been added either will never matter or will only matter for Widow on attack.
Right.
And it's like,
I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Overwatch 2 is just like a long con Widow buff.
yeah,
Yes.
why did they? It was clear that this was going to be a problem. Like, she's ruined every single game she's been in for me this entire time.
Yeah.
And all they've done is added cover for her to get behind on attack.
Yeah, Ian and I had an entire night where, like, I'd say 3 out of 4 games there was an enemy Widowmaker, and it was just pain. Like,
Yeah, you can try and play like every fucking Widow counter on the known planet.
Femme
But
fatale, man. Femme fatale.
yeah, no, if things just die and she will never die because either your hero can't touch her or if they do get close, can't kill her.
right.
Oh, bless. I mean, in fairness, if they weren't expecting that to happen with the second they started taking down shields, like, that's Boo Boo the Fool, you know?
You think they
but
think
the
ahead?
the devs don't perish that, like we perish that. We suffer that as the community. We have to deal. And who was it that like small brain Overwatch YouTuber that was all like Widowmaker's still garbage? It's like, dude, like I really hope that nobody sucks your PP for a couple of years.
That's Donkey. That's not some small YouTuber.
Also,
the indie darling.
It's a bit of a running gag on his channel that Widow's garbage ever since Overwatch launched. But
okay, but does he know that that's that's literally heresy?
That's
That
also
we should
just
launch a
bronze
crusade
on
against
take.
him? Yeah, it's literally a bronze, and even in bronze, Widow's still gonna one-shot you. Like, it's like
it'll happen about as often as they run into like a not Bastion comp in bronze. But sure.
holy.
And
Do you think that the Bastion comps are gonna get a buff because of the Bastion ult buff? Do you think that's gonna be really good in bronze since people don't move, so he's just gonna ult and you're gonna get team wipes?
possibly.
Well, you see, Bastion's just not good.
No, Bastion just
So
isn't
it
good.
didn't change.
So
Zwazwee.
it's a situation of he was bad, and they basically gave him like a few fun little ribbons and a few little bells and whistles and said, yeah, he'll be viable.
Like, he is definitely a bit more viable in silver and gold.
But yeah,
Congratulations to the silvers and golds in the chat.
yeah.
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
For everyone else, it's kind of just as viable as Torb 1.0.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah.
It's fun though.
It's fun. It absolutely is fun.
I mean,
except for the fact that you can't heal yourself. But
maybe unpopular opinion. So long as a character is fun, I don't think they need to be 100% viable all the time.
I don't know.
Like,
I agree.
Do you know that leaderboard of like pick rates and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Someone is always going to be at the bottom. And to be honest, if they're on the bottom and the person playing them is like, I don't care, I'm having fun, then I think that's a success.
No, I agree.
Right, and another hot take that I've always had, I think it's okay for characters to actually be bad, like to not see competitive play. I think that's fine. I think it would be better if that didn't happen, but I think it's okay if that is the case. Like, for example, old Symmetra, like, she was a lot of fun. She was played exactly once on Icon Wall defense by some Korean team in Worlds. Like, but that's just how it is sometimes, right? Like, in competitive games, not everything will be viable.
It was pretty much her first and third last appearance in Overwatch League.
Last season of Overwatch League, at the start and middle of it, she was actually like a bit of a very good pick. That
Yeah, I remember
every
when they
team
did that
invested
buff.
in.
Yeah. She was
Even when she got nerfed, they still used her for her teleport plays on every map they could make it work on, and even some maps that you shouldn't make it work on, and they still worked.
She was good for like 3 weeks, and then Blizzard was like, "Oh my god, the character who's always bad is good. We need to destroy this."
Yeah,
Oh,
how
don't get
dare
me
this
started.
happen? Stop
Hey,
it.
why is she
Dude.
better than Widow? Buff
What?
Widow again.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, how dare you, dude? How dare anything be good other than clicky, I like Call of Duty, dude?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the one. Like, listen, I have been a staunch defender of like Sim 3, as people know. But the one thing I don't accept is, well, there's technically two. The first one is, genuinely some fans can't play Symmetra anymore because of losing her auto.
Yeah,
Oh, what's it?
that's true.
Auto, and here's the thing. I'm of the opinion that like, different heroes are meant to be played by different people. And it doesn't mean like you have to be like some people who go on to quick play, they just kind of want to just lock on and maybe just have a little bit of difficulty in that, and they can just play Symmetra, and that was just taken away from them. And that's one thing I've never forgiven Blizzard for, because that's essentially just robbing someone of a hero, and now they just can't play the game. It's like, oh, play Mercy. You know what I mean?
Remember,
The no-aim people have drastically reduced their hero count.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and of our already
Sliced and
small
free.
hero count. And the second one is saying that they've made these changes to make Symmetra more viable, and then at every single turn that she was viable, they nerfed her.
yeah,
Like, why? Why did you do this?
they
They could have just left it as is. It would have been better. It's like, all you have done is hurt. Again. Amazing.
Yeah, it's remember when Overwatch first came out and they're like, yeah, Overwatch is all about accessibility. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That changed, didn't it?
Yep.
But anyways,
But anyway,
uh,
back to the topic at hand.
back to the topic at
beauty
hand.
of Overwatch 2.
The
by
sound
God.
design.
I don't care what anyone says. This game does look really nice, and Overwatch already looked very nice, and this game looks very, very nice.
Yes.
You know, strangely, I kind of like, I remember the first time I played a new gen Call of Duty after only having played old gen Call of Duties my whole life, and I was like, wow, the sound design is so crispy and it's so chonky, and the explosions go boom. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like the level of quality of the sounds is just so much better than what we have had before, that the difference is, I think, the thing that's really like at least taking people who care about that kind of thing by surprise, because it's really exponentially better. Like the quality of the sound, like the sound of everything is so finely tuned, and I presume it's only going to get better.
1000%. I 100% agree.
Not only
Even
is the
Moira's
quality
suck has a new sound.
like not only is the quality better, like it just fits better as well.
I'd actually,
And I think
It just works.
it just works.
I'd say
It just works.
I'd say that for the most part, yeah, a lot of the sounds are really, really good. But I actually would say some of them are, really good, but just kind of less unique, which I'm not a huge fan of. But it's, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll take some getting used to as well.
yeah, I think it's all it's all a kind of like learning curve as well. Like there's just so much new
Yeah.
in this game, you know what I mean, right now. And this is the reason why it circles back to like I understand where people are coming from, but also simultaneously, if you don't think a whole lot has been added, I don't know what game you've been playing, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Just like because it's small things, you know what I mean? That do
Right.
add up, such as like the new voice lines, all the new gun sounds and effects and stuff like that. They all add up, and it's just like not as flashy, you know.
Yeah.
And
No,
I think
agreed.
this is the reason why I wanted to like shine a light on it, because I think these things go underappreciated, and I love them.
Also, speaking of the effects, they managed to add prettier and more readable effects without adding more clutter to the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
think
love it.
that is more of a that is just having a good vision and executing it perfectly.
Oh man, even Moira's piss. It looks so good now.
Moira's piss is beautiful.
It's so gorgeous.
I actually quite like the I love the sound that Bastion's new primary fire makes.
Makes a good
Ooh,
noise.
same.
Oh, it's chunky. I love it. It's like an autocannon. It's ridiculous.
Here's something I kind of want to mention. I don't know how many people picked up on this in Overwatch 1, but a lot of the a few sounds for the Overwatch 2 weapons got accidentally leaked inside of Overwatch 2 at some point. Namely, Doomfist's primary fire had been in Overwatch 1 twice.
Oh really?
Yes. Only on third person though. That is the weird part.
That's interesting.
Huh.
I will.
I've noticed it being in the game twice. Every time they like change something very minor, and then suddenly, oh, whoopsie daisy! We changed the primary fire noise on accident.
I will say though.
What is with Doomfist, man? He's cursed. Just at every possible, it's always Doomfist as well when we're talking about bugs or anything. Literally anything.
It's always Doomfist.
The other character that had it was Ash. They accidentally had the wrong gun noise at some point as well.
Speaking of gun sounds, though, there is one hero who I actually really don't want them to change the sound for, and I desperately hope they don't, and that's Sigma. Because the sound of Sigma's primary fire is actually an Easter egg, and I don't want them to change that.
What's the Easter egg? I don't know about this, so I'm just curious.
The sound of... Okay, so it's not entirely obvious, but if you listen closely to the sound that Sigma's primary fire makes, you'll notice that there's that little kind of chirp sound to it, when he first fires it. And that's actually an Easter egg to the fact that when the radiation profiles of black holes are translated to sound, they sound like chirping.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Fascinating.
And they've kept it
Learn
in.
Learn everything
currently.
every day.
Yeah.
It's currently still in Overwatch 2, correct?
Yes, it is. I really hope they keep it.
Well, did we get confirmation that they're changing all the sounds?
No.
Or yet again, Blizzard not being very clear.
I mean, they have actually changed the noise a little bit. I think the explosion sound is slightly different.
Yes, the explosion sound is different. The firing sound is not, though. And I want them to keep the firing sound.
I think they'll keep in the Easter egg regardless, though.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
I mean, I was just about to say, like, if you went through that much of an effort, I can't imagine they're just going to revert it.
No, there's Sigma has so many Easter eggs. It's ridiculous. It's
some highlights for the gun noises. Widowmaker, very good gun sound.
Oh yeah.
On the receiving end, a bit less good. You can't hear it until you die to it.
Yeah.
You can't hear it until you die to it, or it is the only weapon or ability being fired at that time.
Oh no.
It
Is there something with the echoes, or is it literally
just,
the gun itself?
It's a bit difficult to hear over, like, I don't know, Sojourn putting out a disruptor shot, Farah blasting concussive mines, Lucio being Accelerando!
Oh yeah.
It can be a bit difficult to hear sometimes.
Go.
Have we just swapped out like one problem for another? We just swapped out visual clutter for like audio clutter.
Yeah,
Basically.
probably.
Oh, and I'm so sure that by the time it comes to at least like the PvE stuff, when it comes to like grinding through the, like killing bots on Hanamura or whatever, it's going to be recycled the assault maps.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of like
missions to expect in the PvE.
Yep. All those side missions, all those highly replayable side missions that.
Yep, all 5 of them.
Yeah.
At this rate.
Capture the objective. Defend the objective. Move the payload.
I can't wait to go back to Monkey World.
Monkey World. Actually, speaking of lines, though, so first of all, what do you guys think of the voice lines, the new voice lines? And 2, have you, speaking of Sigma again, have you guys noticed that when you know how characters have those like select animations on the hero select screen?
Mm-hmm.
Sigma doesn't have his.
What?
What?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the one where he pops out the orbs and then he just looks confused.
He doesn't. He doesn't have the one where he conducts the music plays and he pops out the orbs. He doesn't have it. Just nothing happens.
Oh,
hold on.
That's a bit weird.
And I hate that because I love that about Sigma.
Could in editing? Could you like show us like a little clip so then
Yes,
I can
sure.
I can see it myself? Yay!
Um,
Insert here.
Yes. And it's I like it enough that when I'm actually when I load into a game and like I don't have to select something immediately, I'll just like select Sigma, go to something else. Select Sigma, go to something else. Just so I can watch it over and over again. But yes, voice lines.
I think there's an elephant in the room. In regards to voice lines.
There's multiple elephants in the room.
She says it a lot of times.
Okay. Are we gonna get over the sexism hump first? I need to express my desire to domestically abuse Diva for her horrendous streaking.
Ooh.
Horrendous.
I feel like a lot of characters got some personality shifts in Overwatch 2.
I
think
agree.
it's kind of good for Ana. Ana's like being like a.
Oh, such a sass queen. I love it.
I know.
Ana's very sassy. Lucio is just like so overwhelmingly positive. I want to strangle him.
Jesus.
Like in an almost good way. It's like,
mate,
dude,
there's
love to have you around. Only once a week though.
Lads, can we have an honest to God conversation of like what the hell happened to Mercy?
What happened?
Sweet,
Very
sweet
girly.
Jesus.
What happened?
They made her incredibly weird, girly, and a bit too positive, actually.
Really?
It really is.
I thought honestly, when I heard the new Mercy lines, I was like, holy shit, they made her rather violent.
Yeah, they made her.
No, she's so aggressively cheerful. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of in a violent way. I'm almost like, can you calm down? Like
She should be in a mental asylum for some of these lines.
I mean,
Like, when she gets nanoed, she's just like, "Ha ha! I'm the most powerful woman in the world."
I like
actual Junkrat level crazy when she gets nanoed.
I like the one where she headshots someone with her blaster, and she says, "Ha ha! That's what I call brain surgery." I'm like, oh my god.
she says so cheerfully as well. She's like, haha. Like, what the hell is going on?
Junkrat level line.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And she also has some, like, man, she has some really, like, obviously it makes sense when she kills Moira. Like, it's honestly, it's almost as bad as what you would expect Moira to say to her. But with Ana, though, she says some really nasty shit when she eliminates Ana.
And aren't they meant to be friends in canon?
Yeah.
Like, haven't we had several stories with them, or am I just straight up making shit up?
No, you're right.
Ana and Mercy have some beef in lore. How Ana stole biotic technology to make her rifle when Mercy clearly didn't want to harm anyone using that technology.
Yes, but it was shown in the short story that they don't. It's not like they have like violent beef.
No, it's just like, bruh, why? It's like, I wanted a funny sniper.
Old granny. Yep.
I forget exactly what she says to Ana, but it's like, oh wow, okay, like. Shit.
Yeah, it's a bit like some of it I really like, and I think it's just kind of tuning certain characters in, but just some of the takes, particularly some of the cheerful characters, I think they just went way overboard, you know?
Lucio is a lot less chill and just straight up, like, too happy.
Cracked up.
Yeah.
There's like some drug in there that shouldn't be in there.
I mean, granted.
There's a good difference. I can give two lines that very much sum up the difference between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 Lucio. Overwatch 1 Lucio says, "Look at this team, we're gonna do great." Overwatch 2 Lucio says, "Oh, a new day, I'm so excited."
Yeah, it's just like Lucio's has always been like a team sport, you know. He's always been like that kind of guy who would always be very positive and like cheer up the group, but like not in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
He was more like to amp people up rather than like cheerful himself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't overly cheerful, but he made people happy.
Yeah, exactly. He's more of those like people pleasers, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But like genuine.
Yeah.
Man, there's just some.
They made Far Out very violent.
Yeah, they made Far super violent.
Like, very kick-ass, very violent. Like, whenever she kills anyone, or sees anyone kill anyone, I mean, she has a line that says, "Look, guys, the hamster killed someone!"
Lads.
I love the beauty of death, especially when I gaze upon it from above.
Lads, like I got one of those like because like YouTube owns us all and knows where we sleep and shit like that. I was suddenly recommended like Overwatch voice lines, and one of them was for Farah. And I swear to God, one of the very first ones is her getting like a kill on Ana, and her being like, "I guess I won't get a letter from you." And I was like, Jesus.
Yes, that was one of them.
A letter this time.
And there's another one that Soldier says. I'm like, Soldier's kind of an edgy dude, but this is ridiculous. He's like, "Guess you're going home in a box." I was like, oh,
yeah,
whoa.
I think he says that regardless of hero as well.
Yeah.
Christ on a biscuit.
I was like, whoa.
The fuck, where'd that come from, Soldier?
It's just holy shit.
I know that your counterpart like... Reaper will say kill, death, but come on, man.
What do you guys think of like the more edgy writing the Overwatch like lore has just kind of taken in general?
Has it gone edgy? Really? I don't think so. I don't think it has.
If you kind of read the recent comics, it's kind of getting a little edge, you know?
A little bit. Like,
And I've
how
noticed that, like, in the BlizzCon online thingy-majiggy, they were kind of emphasizing how, like, oh, how dark can we get it? And maybe unpopular opinion, I kind of wish they'd back off a little, because the whole point of, like, I think the appeal of Overwatch is that, like, it's looking at the future, but, like, in a utopia way. It's a very friendly, kind of, like, happy way of, like, looking into the future.
I think that makes sense,
You know?
but at the
it's
same
kind of a
Looking
utopian
at a
future with problems.
post-apocalyptic utopia.
well, yeah,
future.
exactly. With a utopia
That's
with
actually really good.
problems. Yeah.
Apocalyptic utopia future. That's pretty much Overwatch.
Yeah, that's Overwatch 1 for sure. Overwatch 2 seems like
I mean,
a
granted,
utopia that is experiencing an apocalypse.
yes, I think that's right.
Like, I can only say, like, listen, we're still very early days from getting PvE, and I understand that, and this is just a little taster between, like, the voice lines, the recent comics that we've gotten, and, like, the little snippets from the developers themselves, but I don't know, I'm just not really vibing with it, you know? I like Overwatch because it was such a breath of fresh air, and I kind of feel like it's kind of doing it, like, looking at Marvel movies and taking the wrong lessons.
It's looking at Marvel movies for kill quips, and it shows.
Oh god.
All of the heroes have some really savage kill quips, even for heroes that are never like that.
That's what I'm talking about with Mercy.
And Mercy just has some weird kill lines. Zen has some weird kill lines where it's just like you just have a bigger brain forehead.
No, my favorite one is when he knocks someone off the map and he's like, "You will be missed, but not by me."
Oh god.
You don't have to go there, Zen. Come on, man.
Oh, my favorite interaction by far is when Symmetra is talking to Cassidy about his search history.
That's Sombra. That's Sombra.
Sombra is like, whenever I need a laugh, I look at your search history. Let me guess. Last night around dinner time, how to remove cactus spines from ass.
What was I supposed to do? Leave it in there?
This also either shows that he either fell on a cactus or, you know,
Country boys make do.
yeah.
Dear. Oh no.
That's an oddly phallic-looking object.
Oh no, Kree.
I also love the Junkrat one. Oh, like all the Junkrat lines basically. But there's one in particular where when he talks, like when they're starting the round and he's with Soldier, he says, "You look like a man who eats his own toenails." And Soldier's just like, "Why would you ever say that to someone?" And he just goes, "Oh, I thought I was trying to find something we might have in common." And I was just like, "There's no fucking way," because a few years ago when like the Sigma Origin trailer first came out, I was blown away by it. And one of the the comment I made was, there are two kinds of crazy. There's Sigma, whose peek into a black hole shattered his mind with eldritch cosmic horrors. And then there's Junkrat, who eats his own toenails. And I thought I was exaggerating on that latter one.
And it
Toenails.
It's just...
You were a prophet.
It was just, what the fuck?
Junkrat has some very cool and very based lines sometimes. Like, Junkertown itself is supposed to be very racist towards Omnics.
Yeah.
Junkrat seems to be rather indifferent because he has a few lines with Bastion where he's just kind of riffing off with Bastion. It's just like, "Hello, news reporter. How's the weather?" It's like, I don't understand what you're saying, but it's probably good.
Bastion has some great interactions. There's one where Cassidy asks him, "So, Bastion, you got a can opener in there? I want to make myself a snack." And Bastion just is like, no. And, the beeping equivalent of that. And Cassidy just says, "Yeah, sounds like Lindholm to give you everything except what's useful."
Fucking roasted.
Engineering.
So,
Oh man, the roast compilations will be great. I'm just wondering at what cost.
Oh yeah.
Oh, actually, speaking of the characters, what do you guys think of the skins so far? The new redesign skins? Because I know we've kind of danced around those in the past like couple of years.
You mean the ones for the anniversary, or?
No,
No,
well,
the Overwatch
if you
2.
wanted, the Overwatch 2 redesigns.
Oh, for like every hero. How like a lot of them are just they're not in the
Most
game
of them
yet.
are in the
but,
game. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in the game at all.
Wait, they're not in the beta.
No.
No, not at all.
Really?
No. Like none of them are.
Oh, just to let the people know at home, I don't have a PC, so that's the reason why I haven't played the beta yet. Which is why I'm very much more talking aesthetically.
Yeah.
And asking you guys for references.
Some of them seem very good. Others, it's like, did you really have to change that part?
I mean, some of them do just seem like put strap, Overwatch 2.
Bootstrap. Make characters slightly easier to draw and possibly able to animate.
Yeah.
Profit.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that they are making them a bit easier to draw and animate. That is nice for the people that want to do that and for potential future reasons in Overwatch.
I mean, are they easier to animate?
I mean,
Like,
look, I saw someone on Twitter gushing over Tracer's new design because it made her 1,000,000 times easier to draw.
I mean, in fairness, that was not going to be hard. Tracer was a fucking nightmare. I've talked at length with you guys about like her weird boob situation. Like, what on earth was going on there?
What? No, you have not.
Yeah. I have. I've talked to you guys multiple times about like how weird her chest kind of looks.
No.
We've
And,
had
like, how-
conversations about this, but I don't think Astro's been there. Typically, when we discuss these types of components of female anatomy, it tends to make them uncomfortable.
Fuck off, Zach.
True. But it was like so kind of like sleeking up her design was going to be way easier, but like I don't know, I wouldn't look at Widowmaker and say she's easier to design now.
Oh
you know?
yeah, no, Widowmaker definitely.
Does she still have
Very different.
scoliosis?
Jesus, her fucking
No. They have
back
like they have a
breaking.
scoliosis support now. She has like a spine thing on it.
Oh,
I
I'm
think.
so proud of her. She got the operation.
Yeah, she got the operation. It's a spine corrector.
She can walk now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Widowmaker! Yay. Poor May went through this exact same thing as well. What's with all Overwatch ladies and their backs breaking?
It's
Specifically.
something they do. Apparently,
It's
it's a design
It's
choice.
always
All
been a
future
design
women
thing.
must break their backs.
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2. I am very indifferent towards a lot of designs, and other designs I'm like, God, you just made the hair worse. Specifically, May and
Yeah.
Mercy. I don't like the hair.
And no rep for Baptiste. My man, he's been butchered. His hair, what the hell?
What happened to his hair, man?
it's
happened?
it's the same thing with Sigma. I looked at it and I was like, he has negative drip now. Like it's
He really does.
It's just
Oh my goodness. Do you know like those memes like people make about like black hair in video games? You
Yeah.
know the way like there's like bald head and afro.
yeah.
Oh, what happened? They regressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit odd. Also, why does Lucio have pool noodles on his hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
don't
is
know,
a little
kinda-
bit excessive.
In fairness, Lucio is like a rave person, you know, DJ, raving, clubs, noodles.
The pool noodles,
Yeah, it's the glow sticks.
I guess.
I don't know. I think it's fine, but it's a bit weird.
Hmm.
Anyways,
I swear to God,
mo-
if Doomfist gets an afro,
oh, God.
that's when we start to like
I
do
think
this.
they kind of they showed the design for Doomfist. It's just hidden somewhere
Have
in
they?
some post. Yeah, they have shown
it's in the background of like his rework post and stuff like that.
Oh,
He has, like, the
probably
black
like
fist.
show it up here.
Yeah, he has like the black gauntlet.
Ooh,
Anyways, moving on from discussions of Tracer's chest.
towards Sojourn's thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess we're going there.
Yep.
Should
You
we?
know,
Should we?
Soldier may be the legs. Sojourn is called the thighs.
Should we? Should we? Should
She
we?
walks in absolutely double cheeked up on a Friday.
Should we? Should we maybe talk about the layout of the new maps first, or are we just gonna go?
I mean, I can only talk about how pretty they look, you know?
Okay,
I mean, they may look really pretty. A lot of the new maps are just like,
they're pretty.
welcome to Colosseo. It's like, oh no, not this again.
Yeah, no, it's like when I see Welcome to a Circuit Royale, I'm like, oh fuck.
Hyper Town 2, baby.
It's just fuck.
Although
But
having said that, aesthetically, I feel like Rome is a specific apology for me.
Why?
Because we lost our lovely Paris map,
that's
and I'm so upset. As someone who genuine, I didn't mind playing on it, but like I loved looking at it.
right.
Paris was horrific to play on, but admittedly, the resource is there now. I wonder, do you think they're going to rework it and use it? Like, is Assault just gone for good, or is it going to be in like any rotation?
They
Is it
might
gonna be the
rework.
arcade?
They might rework the maps.
I mean, if I were a betting woman, I would bet it would probably return an arcade as an arcade mode, and be like, "Look, guys, we did something in arcade for once."
and I'm actually on somewhat of the same boat as you, Jazz, because it's the exact same thing for me with Horizon. Like
Space map.
Fine to play, real pretty.
Horizon was legit my favorite map in the game, and it had nothing to do with the like actual map. Like it was just such a cool aesthetic, and it had the telescope. So I of course just kind of drooled over it.
I have a
Listen.
similar thing, a very unexplainable thing with Anubis' second point. I just love wall riding on it.
That's fair.
What about you, Zeke? Zeke? Zeke?
Well, tragically, being a console pleb, the only Overwatch 2 experience that I've been able to have so far in terms of enjoying the aesthetics is through watching Nexus Spacey giving me his private Patreon $100 tier streams at night, which yes, include Catboy Cam videos, but also include the Overwatch 2 gameplay. And what I've seen so far, I mean, I'm just going to say that I'm satisfied. I'm kind of concerned about push as a concept. I think we talked about this last time with Ian, so I don't need to reiterate that at all. Right, 2 Steam only.
Can we all agree?
Neutral on Circuit
Hold
Royale.
on, because
I
we're
like
talking
that.
about the beauties of Overwatch. Too.
Yes.
Can we all agree that that robot is adorable?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He is-
yes.
Great.
He is heckin' cute.
Oh, Daddy Robot.
Bob level
yes.
good.
I just
Does he have a name?
yes.
He has a few different names.
Well, no, he
changed it.
has an official name now. It's like
Yeah.
HL1 or something like that.
No, it's ST1.
ST1,
I think.
yeah.
Well,
The
that's
reason we
nice.
know it is because Orisa calls him that when they move him.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I'm probably just gonna call him Buttons because he looks like a sweet little button.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
He does.
Okay.
I just love the fact. I remember you sent me this clip, Jazz, of the Maywall, and him just walking through it.
Nothing stops him.
He can just get wrecked, absolute based. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we actually go to Sojourn, lads, Maywall.
Oh
What
my
about
god.
Ah, yes. The Overwatch League.
Oh yeah.
Maygate.
Being in shambles over
May
the
Gates.
unintended synergy between May and Symmetra being able to climb roofs together.
Yeah.
So, the Florida Mayhem was like, okay, we kind of don't want to play sniper map like a sniper map. So we're going to teleport over the roof. And then this play was followed by cheers
Yep.
and laughter and absolute insanity. Everyone loved it. Except for the Overwatch League. They were like, no, that's an illegal move. Redo the map. And then they won again.
And like, the crowd was booing so hard.
They were booing?
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
I
Oh,
have.
when it had to be redone.
Yeah, when they when they said it had to be redone.
Yeah.
Now, I
Very
have
crazy.
I have like half genuine question, half kind of trolly because I know this is a bit spicy, right?
Mhm.
But what's the difference between that tech with the Maywall and the Sim teleport, between that, Mercy's like super jump, and also like Doomfist kind of like going through roofs? Like, why is one illegal but the
Two
other
of
is
those are illegal. One
Yeah,
of
but,
those
like-
is allowed.
yeah, but Kane fall like
The,
why?
the one that's allowed is allowed because it's practically useless in a environment that high level.
No, the only one of those three that is allowed at high level is the super jump.
Really? I thought it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the robots that were illegal.
Nope,
Or
they're
were,
banned.
Were illegal. Oh.
You can't. Yeah,
I know,
the only one that's legal is the super jump. You can't do high level Doomfist rollouts because if you get stuck on a roof, that's deemed an illegal move.
Well, but that's not the only way to do a high level rollout. There's other high level rollouts
Yeah, but
that
like
don't require it.
the ones where you specifically use roof sliding or like stuck ticks.
Wait, roof
Or Doomfist.
sliding in general is banned?
Not all, but like when it's like, okay, you're clearly abusing the fact that you can stall up here, then that's banned.
Okay, well, stalling
But-
is one
but
thing,
that's the-
but
That's the question that I have. Is like
they're
what
so fucking
fair.
wishy-washy.
what exactly is, because you can actually make an argument that super jump is also, now I'm not saying this, I'm just being devil's advocate and a bit of a bitch, but I'm asking like what's the difference here, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
personally don't see that much of a difference. It's like if you want to
the
ban
difference
tech,
is one of them is on Mercy and the others are like on other characters.
but like I don't know, Blizzards can be really weird about like tech and stuff like that.
Honestly-
I genuinely don't know why sometimes.
Honestly, I think it's stupid that they ban any of those sort of things. If it's in the game,
Yeah.
go
So,
off.
They gave a reason for it, and that reason has shown to be about as inconsistent as everything else. But you're not allowed to put a teleporter on May's wall if the surface you're putting the teleporter / May combo on can't be walked on.
That's just so fucking stupid. Like,
And I'm like, okay, smartass.
who
Have you ever
cares?
used the funny wall ride ability to just walk on Ica Wall first points teleporter strat? Because that one's banned. However, you can technically walk on it.
like.
I mean, that would be like basically banning like Lucio Wallride completely, because you technically can't walk on any of the surfaces he's on.
yeah, like
No,
Yeah,
and it
but
also
only
bans the
May,
thing that's good
May
about
and
Symmetrics,
Sim
yeah.
combo can't do that on
Whoa,
those
whoa,
surfaces.
calm down, one at a time. I don't-
Only May and Sim together are banned for putting the teleporter on a May wall that is unwalkable normally.
Indeed.
which is just so
And it's
stupid.
like, okay, but that's very specific, and also at the time was targeted to only one map, that being
Actually, involved.
the May Ice Wall teleporter combo to get over the first point wall on Eichenwald.
Yeah, honestly,
Ew.
I just think it's stupid. Like people make these plays all the time in ranked, and they're just fun and they're effective, and
They're not even all that effective. They're just kind of, it just throws you off, and it's a
Yeah.
funny play. It's like, okay, well, it's
creative.
counterable,
It's creative,
but it's creative.
and and this is
I
always
mean,
this has always
I-
bothered me. They don't seem to like to have to deal with anything that isn't intentionally designed by them. It's just
Also, it just makes Circuit Royale playable.
yeah, it does.
And that's the only fucking time Circuit Royale is playable by any hero that isn't Widow, and just Widow.
Yeah,
And all heroes that support Widow.
yeah, pretty much.
And it's like, okay, they were like, okay, we're not gonna play Widow, and then they were like, no, that shit's banned.
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's a shame that sometimes Overwatch League players are kind of punished for being creative, be it like just diverting from the meta or stuff like this.
And it's
you
like it's like in that
But at the same time, you gotta have like some sort of rules. You can't have like Doomfist like suddenly breaking the skybox and just walking over to the enemy team and just slamming on top of them. So
what? At what point could you do that?
I remember like ages ago, it was like Sombra and also Doomfist could break the skybox. and
Sombra
they
being
could walk on it.
out of
Oh,
spawn,
that sort of thing.
Walking to
Yes, I
Doomfist.
understand that. That I
and then
understand.
Doomfist breaking the skybox limiter and slamming back into it.
That
the
I
map.
understand. But it's very annoying when like you see these creative plays and they're just like, no, I can't do that. It's just,
But like I said, I was half of it is kind of like genuine, because I personally don't see that much of a difference between the three.
Yeah.
They all just kind of seem the same to me. So I don't know why one is okay, but the other two aren't. And it doesn't
Well-
make sense in my brain. But at the same time, I know I'm kind of out of my league here.
Well, it's actually-
Literally, but
it's actually funny you say that, because the super jump and Doomfist's, bounces and stuff like that are actually the result of the same quirk in the physics engine.
Yeah, being able to get stuck on a
Yeah.
flat sliding surface.
Which is the ability to just like redirect momentum. So, yeah.
speaking of momentum, the slick moves. Cha-cha to over back to Sojourn.
Sojourn.
Yes, the thighs.
Yes, to the
Did that-
thighs.
Why-
This is our white pill to end the episode.
I'm
the
looking
thighs.
I'm looking at the picture that Jazz posted. They're literally thicker than her torso.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
How else are you gonna put rockets in there, man?
It's so stupid.
I mean, I mean, lines in the game also shows like, how can you not have rocket legs?
Yeah.
Stop it. That's so fucking funny because it actually might be true.
No, she has rocket legs.
No. As in, like, that might be the line of thought that, like, the creators went. She gotta have the thunder thighs. Why? Rockets, man.
Rockets, man.
True, bro. True.
How do we make a hero so unbelievably thick but hide it for a lore reason? They're
kinda like-
fake legs. They're rockets.
Do you know the way, like, Mercy's meant to be, like, late 30s, early 40s, and she kind of looks like a supermodel?
Yeah,
And they
she's
use
she's
kinda
like she's at most like
she
late
used-
20s, early 30s.
Yeah, and they say that she used, like, her own medicine, magic, whatever the fuck.
She used their own
And
technology to
As,
keep
like, a
herself-
facial cream and shit like that. It's the same vibe.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
I'm getting the same vibe.
I find it even funnier with Moira, because like Moira is, I think, almost 50, and she looks like my aunt who's in her late 60s.
Put this in perspective. Moira and Anna aren't aren't like too far away in age,
They're about 10 years apart.
and they're like like only 10 years between Moira and Anna.
Moira's like 48, and Anna's then 58, right?
Anna's 60.
Sort of.
Anna's 60.
Anna's 60, and Moira's like 48, 49.
Yeah. The oldest character in the game is Sigma, who's 62.
Damn.
Ooh, Gilf.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
lot of people saying that when he first came out.
I mean, yeah, no, he's not
Trust me,
Gil.
I've seen-
Look at his redesign. He actually has no drip.
yeah, it's
Can't
No,
true.
Gil
anti-drip.
for that.
He has negative drip. It's,
Like so less drip. There's just the Sahara Desert. You know what I mean?
My.
Not a single droplet given.
None. Zero.
Speaking of drip, I will say this about Sojourn. She's a very pretty lady. I will admit this.
Yep.
I'm not crazy about the outfit though. It's
a bit
it's
weird.
just a bit
I kind
weird.
of like the Canadian flag though. It's very cute. It's a nice little shout out.
You feel represented.
No,
So
I mean I would say
what
that
parts
it's
about the outfit irk you a lot then.
I mean, there's things like, hold on, let me boost it up just so I can. There's things like the waist, the weird waistcoat that she has and the straps.
The
It's
straps
like it cuts
are-
off her like torso. It's just kind of weird, And it doesn't have the most inspired kind of like color palette I've ever seen. It's very beige,
Yeah.
very white, very plain.
Very
And
muted.
yeah, very, very muted. And for such a colorful game, she kind of sticks out. You know what I mean?
Or should I say she doesn't? She sticks out because she doesn't stick out.
Yeah. And like it's the same critique I have like with Baptiste's new design as well. That like it just kind of seems like they lost the, that pop of color.
They
Yeah.
lost the sauce.
Lost the sauce. And that's the one critique I have with Sojourn. I really like her. And she seems really cool. So.
Mhm.
And she has, and this is what I was alluding to at the start of the podcast, which it was ages ago now. But she has like a really sweet like origin.
Yeah.
So about
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago, I want to say 2017, a lovely fan by the name of Vivian Phillips sent a letter to Jeffrey Kaplan, who we all know as the beloved game developer who has left us.
He's not dead. He just left Blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, he from what we know, he's like retired or something.
He's retired, yeah.
Yeah, which is so sad. And well, at the same time, I'm like, I hope the best for him. You know, I've always said that. But his presence has been sorely missed, I want to say.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, she kindly sent him a letter, basically expressing that she loves Overwatch and she loved the representation and the diversity within the game, and that she someday hoped that she would see kind of like someone like herself, a black woman, in the game. And Jeff, ever the Chad, sent her a lovely message back, essentially saying that he really appreciates when people notice that effort, and that he really hopes that her dream will come soon, very, very soon. But cut to, well, not very soon anyway.
A few years later.
He was consistent with the Blizzard soon, at the very least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get Sojourn, whose name is Vivian, who is an obvious callback to Vivian Phillips, who sent in that letter. And I just think,
amazing.
If that's not the sweetest thing you guys have ever heard, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? That is just so much wholesomeness, so much joy, and I'm just really happy about it. You know,
the entire world is going to shit, but at least Sojourn is named after this nice fan who, you know,
got her dream, dream, man.
Yeah, sent a letter to Jeff. So.
And we'll show photos of the letter and like its contents and the reply as this is going on. But like, I don't know. I just think it's so sweet, you know, especially because we know for a fact that Sojourn was made during Overwatch 1 and was kind of like held back, which is kind of a bit shady, but
yeah,
a bit of a shady practice.
It's all shady.
But we do know
they were like, oh, I could put it out, but she doesn't function in context.
That's true. She might not have functioned in context.
Like, don't get me wrong, she does make sense for, especially given the intro that we had to her little like trailer and stuff like that. Like, it does make sense that they held off. But at the same time, a bit shady.
Bit sus. A little
sus.
Imposter moment.
Oh,
but we do know for a fact, because of how long development takes, that means Jeff saw this letter and must have taken like pretty much immediate action, you know, to create her. Which, makes me miss Jeff.
We all miss Jeff.
They were likely already creating her. I mean, they had the idea for the character already lined up, as you could see in the Recall cinematic. They have the basic outlines for the
and also in
design.
Anna's trailer as well, she was hinted at.
Yeah.
But it's very sweet to
Anna's
know.
Trailer, she was.
Yeah.
You mean in 2016?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Recall cinematic was in 2015.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they had planned this character design at least for a long time.
Holy shit.
And
but like
they
we
probably
don't
didn't
know
have
how
a
much
name for them yet. So that is.
We don't know how much of an extent how much he. You know, there's another person as well in that trailer, in that Anna trailer as well, and we don't know about them either. So it could have been easily that Jeff kind of looked through their catalog and went, "This is a really sick design. Why don't we just bring her back?" Because, like,
yeah,
you know,
that's true.
So we don't know, but like, I think it's a really sweet coincidence.
No, it is. Oh, probably not a coincidence, but yeah.
Bringing designs back is kind of what Overwatch was literally built on.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. God bless Titan.
Yeah. Rip Titan, though.
Rip it. Oh well.
They'll
we got a
make
good
it
game out of it,
eventually,
though.
right?
We got a good game out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the ashes.
And from what I can tell, eventually
Sometimes
Overwatch
a
will
game.
just turn into Titan with more shooter aspects.
Okay.
Look at what Overwatch 2 is trying to achieve. It's getting closer to what they wanted Titan to do.
Like,
Right.
they looked at the multiplayer for Black Ops 4, and they were like, that, but like just a little bit more visually agreeable. It's like I'm sure none, maybe Jazz, but there's no way that either you, Astra, or you, Ness, know really about the calamity that was Black Ops 4, which is basically an attempt at making Overwatch in the Call of Duty engine.
Shut up. What?
I'm serious.
What?
I'm serious. If you've never played Black Ops, like I'm not even kidding you. Like
I need receipts. I need receipts right now.
Okay. Listen to me carefully. This is nuts. Okay. And seriously, looking back at it now, it's almost a wonder that they got away with even attempting this. That this got past the beginning stages of development. But basically,
Paladin was made.
seriously, like it's so similar. You
Paladins
pick a
came
character,
before
right?
Overwatch, though, so anyways.
It's like you can make your class. You still have the
Yeah,
Call of
right.
Duty mechanics, right, of picking your guns and shit. But it's like you pick a character, and that character has like an ultimate, and they have an ability. So it's like you have one ultimate and one ability. And also, everybody was notably tankier in that game than in previous installments. Obviously, you still get laser beamed because it's Call of Duty, but like they were like dipping into that weird like RPG hero looter shooter kind of feel, and that was just really bizarre. Like you could play it yourself. Like if you play like a really early Call of Duty and then you play that, you'll be like, oh yeah, like somebody on the Black Ops 4 team really liked Overwatch. Like seriously, like you can tell that it has like a lot of the similar kind of, and this also came out in the zombies mode, which was basically like an RPG version of zombies as well. Very strange, but not for everybody. Obviously Overwatch is a different situation, but everybody should be doubtful about where it's headed next. Still, we can be optimistic.
Yeah. We can always look towards the future.
Indeed.
And I think that's it, gentlemen. That's all I have to say anyway.
Indeed. I as well.
Huh. Alright.
Aw. What a wholesome ending. We
Yes.
eventually said something positive.
A nice
Wow, we
ending.
like Sojourn and also ripped Black
Nice
Ops 4.
ending. Jeff Kaplan based. Black character acquired. It's just good.
Black character acquired.
No, black female
look,
character.
It's just that too. Actually, it's very nice that they named her Vivian, because it's like they had the design and they were like, okay, let's just make this the most based callback imaginable and name it after the letter that inspired us to get the design back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so sickeningly wholesome, you know?
Mhm.
And to be honest, like I'm one of those people that's like diversity breeds just good writing, you know? If you look at more, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, but you know, people are different. Things like sexuality and race do mean your story is different, and it just means that like more people are represented, you know?
Mhm.
Does that make sense? I hope
Yes.
it does.
The story is a lot more rooted in reality when people differ from each other.
Yes.
Exactly. And I think that's wonderful. I like changes. I don't like people being the same. And I like the thought of like someone just shooting a shotgun into the sky, hoping for a little bit of some representation. And many years later, she got that, you know?
Yep.
Mhm.
She inspired that. And I just think that's wholesome.
Very cool.
Very much
based.
agreed.
Anywho, that's all I have to say.
What a lovely little podcast we've had today. Please join us next time when we will talk about something else highly riveting and also be as well composed as we were this time.
It's going to be
also
supports.
yes. Oh, exciting. Maybe we'll even get to argue a little bit. Ooh, a little bit.
Oh,
of
we might fling shit everywhere. Great.
No boy.
I can't
I
wait
found
for
out.
the...
That'll be an actual monkey level composure there.
I'll get to sit back and do practically nothing because I don't play support at all.
I can't wait for like episode. This is episode. Next episode will be episode 3, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
episode
3,
4 will be-
the one where Ness and Jazz fight.
Ooh.
Episode 3, the beginning of divorce. Episode 4, the end of the BBB.
Oh god.
It's game over, man.
Overwatch.
Game over.
Game Overwatch.
Oh fuck.
Amazing.
Anyway,
Is that it?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
Much love, everyone. Take
All right.
care and subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Bye.
Ness, give us your funny quip outro.
Dude, okay. I don't think we'll shit this time. I think we'll just kind of drop we'll just pick the shit up and drop it. There we go.
oh god, another one was the Alzheimer's. You know.
Right. Anyways, bye.